Let's hear what the people got to say. What do you think, brother? What's your name?
My name is Philae Darius. You was touching on a point before about slavery, and I wanted to know, like, to what extent does the slave experience affect your views on your beliefs in God or not?
Initially, I was a believer in God, and conveniently, I didn't really get too much into reading those portions of the Bible. But the Bible actually endorses slavery. And if you actually read that thing, it doesn't say, oh, let your slaves go, slavery's bad. It actually says, this is how you should treat your slaves. Don't whip them so much. Don't be so bad to them. But it never says,
you missed the whole book of Exodus.
I read the whole thing from beginning and cover to cover.
Exodus is a whole liberation struggle from slavery.
It is. Yeah,
what do you think Exodus was from?
Exodus, yeah, they finally left slavery.
You're also...
Eventually. Well, what were they? Initially, they were slaves.
You're also not understanding
we have to get to Exodus before he finally says, okay, now you can leave.
You're also not
We've
understanding
had you build the pyramids, we've whipped you and everything. Now it's your day off. Go ahead, get out of here. Have fun.
You're also
it's your lunch break, going to Egypt.
That some of the terminology in the Bible said, and especially in the New Testament, slavery means employees.
Right.
Your employer.
I don't think that's the way they meant it.
Yes,
I think they meant it exactly the way we think of it today.
No.
Brother, you wanted to say something.
I find that you have points that you can say taken on by a lot of people, but I don't find that you're presenting those points well. So I want to know are you trying to use comedy as far as to just downgrade the church in the whole? I don't want to just say black church in the whole. Or are you using comedy just for your own insecurities, for whatever, because you did say that you were once into God and did follow God?
You want to know why I do comedy? I do comedy because I enjoy it.
No, I mean, but are you using...
My topic, I just happen to like... What I was once very much into the church, so I talk about what I know about, and one of the things I make jokes about is about church stuff because that's what I did.
But I don't think you're really...
I'm not selling myself too well tonight, is I?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'll live.
I feel you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what can I do? I didn't convince him. Wow, I didn't make him an atheist. Wow.
I have a question for the entire panel. Do you think that if we took the emphasis off of organized religion and more towards spirituality and the message of God, like God is love and everything that God has taught us, that people like Mr. Dixon and people like, young people that are without hope would be able to come more into, then they'll pick a religion to go to instead of us forcing, spirituality, forcing organized religion on them. Teach them spirituality first, and then whatever plan they would like to follow, go with that.
In the gospel, and I'm going to say this real quick, in the gospel, there are times that we saw Jesus trying to make a person slow down from following him. You remember when Jesus did the miracle, and he was real popular, he was hot, he was selling out, he was like double platinum, he was on every TV show, he was hot. He was number one with a bullet up, and the God came to him and said, Jesus, I want to follow you. He's like, I want to be part of your crew. And Jesus said, he was like, slow down, dog, slow down. Tonight, I don't even know where I'm going to sleep.
Right.
So it's like there were times that we saw even Jesus trying to slow people down from following him. He wasn't always, he wasn't always trying to make people do this and make people do that. He always gave them the option to choose.
Exactly.
And that's the root of love.
It is.
Exactly.
Love gives you the freedom to accept or to reject. And whether you accept the faith or reject the faith, God still loves you equally.
Exactly.
And God does not necessarily cause bad things to happen to good people per se.
Like I have a problem with white Christians that stand in front of abortion clinics and they are so passionate about this, but when it's time for somebody black to be in trouble, I don't see those same white Christians.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Or they love the fetus. They want the fetus to be born, but they hate the baby.
Yeah.
They cut daycare, child care.
Yeah.
I mean, how come you don't love me after I'm born?
So there's a lot of in-house cleanup that needs to happen. There's a lot of in-house cleanup preaching that we need, because the thing is that, like you said, the world is getting smarter and we're getting all of this new structure and this new level of higher learning. And so we got to make sure that when we want to go out and catch fish, that we got a pan that's big enough.
That's right.